Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, and welcome back to another live segment. We are starting on time today because I have a lot that I want to cover, and I want to make sure I give y'all enough time to ask questions at the end if you have them, or just throughout. And I'm really going to try my best not to spend too much time on one thing. Y'all know how I can get. But I'm so excited to be back today. I didn't think I was going to make it in time, but as y'all see, I'm actually going live a lot, not a lot later, but a little bit later than normal because I had to run some errands. It's a lot of great things that are in the works right now, and I'm extremely thankful and just excited for what is to come. So I will keep y'all posted on that. But before we get started, I always got to introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. My name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of PSU, which is Project Style University, where I help first generation personal stylists truly transform their love for styling into a profitable business. I do that through mentorship, through coaching, and these YouTube lives and videos. I am extremely passionate about what I do because I didn't have anybody to show me the ropes when it came to becoming a stylist and just growing in the industry. I learned a lot from trial and error, a lot from the companies that I work for, like Nordstrom, Trunk Club, Rue La La, M. LaFleur, Amazon, all the things. I appreciate all of those opportunities and have learned so much. And everything that I've learned, I've put it back into my business and just really used it as an experiment to kind of see what works and what doesn't work for me and my business and my clients. So I'm excited to be here to share the wealth and to hopefully inspire someone, shift someone's perspective when it comes to the industry of styling. Whether you're new to the styling industry, whether you've been in the styling industry for quite some time, or whether you are wanting to get into the styling industry, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm here to help. I'm here to provide resources. And I've also created some platforms and a community for you to join. So definitely make sure you follow Project Style U on Instagram. Also follow Black Women Who Style on Instagram. And last but not least, if you want to become a part of a free community full of stylists of all types, then definitely make sure you join Hey Stylist. Hey Stylist is a private community that is offline in a group chat where I share videos, I share resources, I share jobs. It's fairly new and we just have a small group of us as of now. So I'm excited to continue watching it grow. I'm also there to ask questions, to get questions answered, and to just key in the group chat with other stylists to understand what we're all going through. So make sure you join Hey Stylist if you are a stylist, no matter what stage you are in your journey or no matter what type of stylist you are. Make sure you join Hey Stylist. It's completely free. You have nothing to lose. But anyway, today I want to talk about the 8 characteristics of a CEO stylist. So many of you may or may not know what a CEO stylist is. And I'm here to tell you a CEO stylist is a stylist who understands that every client is not their client. A CEO stylist is a stylist that understands that every opportunity that is presented to them may or may not be for them. A CEO stylist understands that they have to do more than just physically style their clients in order to be successful and in order to see the fruits of their labor. A CEO stylist understands how to diversify their income and diversify their expertise to make an even larger impact in the styling industry. A CEO stylist has all of these characteristics that I'm going to talk about today, and there are 8 of them. I'm pretty sure there are a lot more, but these 8 are the ones that really came to my mind first and are important for all stylists to have if they're wanting to become a CEO stylist. Because styling is more than just dressing people. I talk about this all the time. It's more than just clothes, it's more than just fashion. It's really about transforming people's lives, transforming people's mindsets, shifting people's mindsets about how they see themselves, helping people to be more confident in themselves, helping people to achieve the goals that they have set out for themselves, helping people to level up in their careers, in their lifestyles, in their journeys, and really helping people to see themselves as their most authentic self and be confident in that. Style is really a tool for success and has really been a tool for success for me. And which is why I am so passionate and so excited to be in this industry. One, to still be here after almost 11, 12 years. and to be sharing what I've learned with you guys. Because it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into being a stylist and really showing up for your clients, but also showing up for yourself and not allowing other people's opinions or other people's, you know, words really stop you from doing what you were called to do. So I'm excited to hop into today's live segment. I have quite a few notes. Like I said, we're going through 8 different characteristics. So I don't want to spend too much time on each of these characteristics. So let's hop into it. Number one, 8 characteristics of a CEO stylist. Number one is patience, y'all. Patience. I'm probably going to say y'all with all of the characteristics because it is something that I feel like we don't talk too much about when it comes to being a business owner. I want to move this stuff out the way because it's bothering me. We don't talk too much about having patience as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a service provider, as an expert. We don't talk a lot about having patience, but it's so important to be patient. I've been in this industry for almost 12 years and I was not always patient. I want to say I just started becoming patient. I feel like the pandemic kind of made me more patient. And that's interesting to say because I feel like for a lot of people, the pandemic made them more or less patient. But when you realize that you have no control over time, you have no control over what happens in the world, you have no control over what other people do, it helps you to grow your patience. And for me, patience has been a big part of my journey because we're all in a waiting season. We're all in the season of just wanting to get to the next level, transitioning from one level to the next, wanting to get more clients, wanting to make more money, wanting to gain more opportunity. And in order to get those things or get to that side, you have to be patient. You have to you have to be okay with waiting and understanding that when you are waiting, it's only getting better. Um, what I've learned over the past couple of years, just continuing to grow my faith and surrounding myself in communities that are faith driven, waiting is not a bad thing. You know, when you wait for something, God is making it better. He's sweetening the deal. He is really setting things up for you. And a lot of the times, waiting really helps us to grow our patience. But also, when we understand that when we wait, things could be better, helps so much. I get though that waiting can have like a negative, you know, uh, it can be aligned with a lot of negativity. Waiting can be seen as a bad thing, but it's not. It's not. So when it comes to being patient in your journey as a stylist, you have to understand that it takes time to learn everything that you need to learn. It's constantly a learning experience. It takes time for you to grow and get to a certain level where you can handle certain things. Um, and being patient really helps with that. It also gives you the ability to make mistakes. And we're going to talk about that in another characteristic. But, you know, being patient and making mistakes and learning from those mistakes and not rushing into everything. And I get how easy it is to rush. I mean, everything that we have currently, we want instant things. You know, we have social media, we have technology, we have AI, we have things like that that make things come to us a lot quicker. But sometimes the quicker you get something, sometimes the quicker you can lose it. So it's so important to be patient and build a strong foundation for your business that will last. So moving on to persistence. Moving on to persistence. So persistence is important for me because you're going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to hear a lot of not right nows. You're going to hear a lot of just now is not the time. And sometimes when we think we're ready, sometimes when we think that the client is ready, sometimes when we think that the opportunity is the perfect opportunity, it doesn't always work out in the way that we thought or the way that we hoped. And we have to have the persistence to keep trying and to not quit. Y'all, if I didn't have persistence, I would not be here right now sharing my journey and sharing my advice. If I didn't have persistence, I wouldn't be about to do something so amazing that I've been praying for. If I didn't have persistence, I wouldn't have all the companies that I have right now. Project Style University, Black Women Who Style, Hey Stylist. If I didn't have persistence, y'all, I honestly don't know where I would be. Persistence keeps you showing up when things aren't going your way. And that's why it's so important to always revisit your why. Always understand, like, why am I doing this? Why am I taking the time out to do these things? Why am I going live and no one may be listening, but I'm continuing to persistently show up every single week? Why am I sending emails out and not many people are opening them? And persistently continuing to send those emails out every week. You have to understand that when it comes to growth, sometimes things don't always look the way that you thought they were going to look. Sometimes people aren't always listening at first. Sometimes people don't always see you at first. But when you persistently show up, people begin to catch on. People begin to see you. People begin to pay attention. They begin to understand, like, oh, shoot, I didn't even know I didn't even see her doing this at first. What in the world? And that's why people think that there are so many overnight successes, because the overnight successes, quote unquote, are the people that have been putting in the work, the people that have been showing up when no one was there, the people that have been doing what they needed to do even when they aren't receiving the the type of recognition that they want to receive. Those are the people who look like overnight successes. Those people who've been doing it, but nobody has just been paying attention until now. So it's so important to be persistent. It's so important to keep going regardless of what your circumstances look like, regardless of what things look like. Because when you're showing yourself that you can do these things even when nobody is watching, just imagine what you can do when people are watching. Imagine when it does start to pop off and you're like, well, I'm good because I've been getting my practice in when people weren't here. Now people are showing up for me. Now people are here watching me, and I can do this with my eyes closed. Y'all, that's literally how I grew my confidence. The most successful stylists don't quit, they pivot and they keep pushing. Consistent effort leads to consistent results. So you have to consistently show up for yourself. And when you consistently show up for yourself, it increases your confidence. And when you start to see the fruits of your labor over time, it also increases your faith. So, speaking of confidence, moving on to number three, confidence is a characteristic that every CEO stylist needs to have. This should have been number one. Confidence is everything. Confidence is everything, and it's something that I struggled with growing up. But the more that I put myself out there, the more that I studied my craft, the more that I continued to show up for myself, and the more that I continued to increase my faith, then I became more confident. I talked about this on Tuesday on my LinkedIn Live segment. So on every Tuesday, I do a LinkedIn Live segment for my styling business audience and my potential styling clients. And then every Thursday, I go live on YouTube for my potential coaching clients, my stylists, my personal stylists, my CEO stylist, and I drop gems for y'all. And I always say how confidence for me was definitely something that I prayed for and continue to pray for, because you need confidence to be a business owner. You need to be confident enough to show up for yourself every single day, consistently show up for yourself every single day, and your clients every single time that you come in contact or work with a client. You need to be confident. You need to be confident because people are going to come at you. They're going to question your abilities. They're going to question your expertise. They're going to wonder, does she really know what she's talking about? Well, why did this one stylist say this and she said that? Look, you got to understand that every stylist is different. What she's talking about is what she believes in. What I'm talking about is what I believe in, and I stand firm on that. And that was another thing that made me more confident, understanding that being a personal stylist or just a stylist in general, it's very subjective. So there are a lot of right things and there are a lot of wrong things. But who's to say that what you're saying is wrong? Who's to say that what you're saying is right? As long as you have information and experiences to back that thing up, that's all that matters. So a lot of what I believe is right Another stylist may believe that it's wrong. There's another way that you can go about it. There's another way that you can do it. And the thing about being a stylist is that there are a bunch of different rights. There are so many things could be right in the industry of styling. Don't wear that top because it makes you look bigger. But another stylist may say, wear that top because it looks amazing on you. Like, so people are going to question your expertise. People are going to question why you make these suggestions and why you say these things. And as long as you're confident enough to back it up and you have the experience to say, well, I did this because this is what works for me. I did this because this is what works for my clients. I'm doing this because this is what I believe in. That's all that matters. And when you're confident in your expertise, when you're confident in what you're talking about, other people become more confident in you too. So confidence is everything. Confidence attracts clients who trust your expertise and vision. Not every person out here is my ideal client. Not every person who I come into contact with who's interested in working with me is not a good fit. They may be a better fit for someone else. They may be a better fit for another stylist, and that's okay. But that's why it's so important for you to know who you are as a stylist and for you to understand, what you believe in as a stylist, because that makes a difference. A CEO stylist isn't afraid to take up space, charge their worth, and lead their clients. Again, when you are working with your clients and they question your expertise or they're unsure or they're uncertain about something that you are suggesting that they do, you have to stand confident. You have to be confident. So it's so important to talk to these individuals like you know what you're talking about. Not, oh, I'm not really sure, or let's do this. And like, even if you're not sure, you can say, okay, I've actually never tried this before, but I'm confident that this color will look amazing on you. And if it doesn't, we can try something else. Like, it's all in how you communicate, it's all in how you talk and how you use your voice. So be confident. Confidence is built by doing, failing, learning, and growing. So you also become confident by getting clear on something. And in order for you to get clear on something, you have to actually try it, you have to actually do it, and you either have to fail at it or you have to um, be successful at it. And a lot of the times when you're doing something for the first time, you may fail. You may not know what you're doing. You may not understand how something works. But the more you do it, the clearer you become on that thing, and the more confident you become when you're executing that thing. So confidence is the key to being a successful CEO stylist. I know I briefly talked about my faith earlier in this live segment, and that is number 4 on the 8 characteristics of a CEO stylist. Faith, or being faithful, is a characteristic that you should have. Y'all, you have to have faith in yourself. You cannot be successful if you don't believe that you deserve success. You cannot be successful if you don't believe that there are clients out there that need you. You cannot be successful if you don't have faith that what you're doing is actually helpful to someone. If you think, oh, I'm just a stylist, I'm just out here dressing people, I'm not doing anything important, I'm not spending enough time doing certain things, I'm not worth, like, you don't need to spend that much on me because I'm just doing this little thing. I'm just shopping online for an hour and finding clothes for you. Like, this is easy. This isn't anything special. If you believe that, other people are going to believe that about you too. Your clients are going to believe that about you. And you're going to attract clients who don't have a ton of money, don't understand your value, don't appreciate your value, don't want to spend a ton of money on you because you believe that you're not worth it, which then makes them believe that they don't need to spend or invest money into whatever it is that you are offering them. So faith is like a it's like a trickle down effect. Once you stop believing, everybody else around you stops believing. And sometimes when you believe, people around you may not believe. But if you consistently believe, and if you don't listen to those individuals who don't believe, then your belief and your faith continues to grow. And then you begin to surround yourself with people who actually do believe in you and do believe that what you bring to the table is worth something. They believe that what you're doing is of value because you believe that. So, staying rooted in faith allows you to keep going even when things are uncertain. Y'all, during the pandemic, I transitioned from being completely in person to 100% virtual. Did I know if it was going to work? I didn't know. But I put myself out there, I did it, and I relaunched. And I want to say I got 2 clients from that. They were great clients. Moving forward, there were times where I didn't have any clients. There were times where I had a bunch of clients, consistent clients coming in. And the times where I didn't have clients, I'm like, well, wait, does this mean I should stop? Does this mean I should give up? Does this mean that, I should do something else? No, that doesn't mean anything. Maybe you need to pivot. Maybe you need to revisit some things. Maybe you need to re refresh your business. Maybe you need to refresh your offers. Obviously, you need to pray and ask God about it. But other than that, like, just because I didn't have any clients or just because I went through ebbs and flows of being a business owner and I didn't feel like anything was happening, doesn't mean that I should give up. I still have faith that I will be successful consistently. And I am successful. I've done some amazing things in my business. I've helped so many people, so many women increase their confidence and learn about their bodies and understand how to dress for their shape. I've learned so much and I've helped so many people doing it. And just because I'm in a space or have experienced times where I didn't have any clients doesn't mean I should give up and doesn't mean I should lose faith. That is what being an entrepreneur is all about. Sometimes things won't always go the way that we thought. Sometimes things won't always be consistently going well. So it's so important to have faith. And if it wasn't for my faith, I wouldn't be here right now. Faith fuels purpose. It's the foundation of a mission driven business. So I'm not just here, like I said earlier, to just dress people. If that was the case, I would not be here anymore because I just can't fathom waking up every day and just dressing people. Like, okay, I dress that person, I feel so accomplished. Like, if I'm just leaning on my ability to dress people and leaning on my my want to just dress people and go shopping, then I wouldn't be successful. You can't just lean on your abilities because there are times when you're not going to be able to do what you are capable of doing. For example, if you don't have any clients. So because you don't have any clients right now, you're not technically able to dress people. So that means because I'm not able to dress people, I should no longer be doing this and I no longer have the drive to keep going because I'm not able to do what I am capable of doing. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. It's so important to lean on your faith and not just your physical abilities. Your physical abilities, your gifts, your talents, all of that is important. But the full package includes faith because you have to understand that without the faith, you're just you're just doing whatever. You aren't really purpose driven. You don't really have a purpose. You don't really have any, you aren't feeling fulfilled. And there were times when I had clients that I did not feel fulfilled because I was just focusing on the monetary side of it. And I was also just focusing on my abilities. Like I can style someone in my sleep. Like I don't need confirmation in knowing that I can style someone. Like I know that I can do that. I know that I'm good at what I do. I know that I'm good at communicating with people when it comes to my business and clients. I know that I'm good with providing a unique styling experience. I know that I can do all of that. I can do that in my sleep. But and hopefully I'm making sense. But just leaning on that and just focusing on that is not enough to keep you focused in this industry. So you have to understand and trust that the clients you're meant to serve will find you, but also you'll find them. It's not just about waiting around for people to hit you up and inquire. You also can reach out to people too. You also can make yourself visible so people know that you exist. And that comes with faith and knowing that, okay, if I do this, it may cost a little bit more money. If I do this, it may cost a little bit more of my time. If I do this, it's going to be a lot of work, but I have faith that it will bring the right types of clients that I believe I was created to serve. So it's so important to have faith. Moving on to number 5, optimistic. So out of the 8 characteristics of a CEO stylist, number 5, and this is in no specific order, but I just listed them out this way. Number 5 is optimistic. You got to be open. You got to be open to trying new things. You cannot be stuck in your ways. You're an entrepreneur. You're not like this how people say it, Fortune 500 company that has been around for a million years and that has been doing the same thing for a million years and it works for them. Even those bigger companies have to shift. Even those bigger companies have to go through some type of rebrand or some type of upgrade because technology evolves, we evolve as people, and we are constantly changing and things are constantly moving around us. So if you think that whatever it is that you were doing 5 years ago is still going to work today, it might. But 9 times out of 10, as a small business owner, it may not. So it's so important for you to be open to the process, open to trying new things, open to doing things and seeing if it actually works for you, but also giving it time to work. Not just doing things and giving it a week and saying like, yeah, that wasn't that wasn't it. You have to give yourself the opportunity to fail. You have to give yourself the opportunity to keep trying and seeing what sticks. A CEO stylist believes in possibilities, not just problems. I know that we are solving problems as CEO stylists, and we have to make sure that what we're offering is actually helping people. But you also have to understand that maybe what you're offering may not actually be helping people. Maybe you need to shift what you're offering. Maybe you need to offer something different. So being open to that, I've rebranded my business, I would say maybe like 4 or 5 times since I've been in the industry. I've changed my title a couple of times. I've switched platforms on my website multiple times. I've changed up my processes multiple times. I changed up my mission statement, my vision, like all of that has been updated and rebranded and recalibrated multiple times. So it's so important to understand that there is no straight path to success. And as a CEO stylist, you have to be open to the process of trying new things, doing something different, um, and giving yourself the ability to figure out what actually works for you. Because what might work for me may not work for you. What may work for you may not work for another stylist. What works for another stylist may not work for me. We all serve different types of people, and we all serve different types of people in our own unique way, regardless of if we're offering the same, experience or the same services. We all do it differently, and we all believe in different things. So that's what makes us different, and we have to lean into that uniqueness. So optimism helps you pivot creatively when challenges arise. So when things do come your way and you're like, well, wait, this is no longer working. So when I had consistent clients all 2022 and all of a sudden they stopped, I said, okay, I wasn't expecting that. But I'm willing to hire someone for help. I'm willing to change some things up to see what will get these clients coming back again. And I'm willing to put in the work because I believe, I have faith, and I am confident in myself and my abilities. And I have faith that what I'm doing is my purpose. And I have a purpose to serve people who need me. And I'm not just going to give up. I'm not just going to stop just because the client stopped. I'm going to pivot and maybe refocus on something else. Maybe, spend some time working on my business instead of in my business. If you know, you know. So seeing the vision before it manifests is part of what sets you apart. So again, you have to be faithful. You have to believe in your vision. You have to believe that you are put on this earth to fulfill a purpose. And if that purpose has not come to fruition yet, or if that vision, sorry, has not come to fruition yet, you have to continue to believe because sometimes it takes time. 12 years is not that long, y'all. Think about it. A 12-year-old. How much do they really know? Not much. When I was 12, what did I know? I knew what I was learning. I knew what I had learned and what I had experienced thus far. But 12 years, like, how old are you when you're 12? I mean, what grade are you in when you're 12? Seventh grade? Like, okay, what does a seventh grader know? Not much. So think of it that way. Your business, how long you've been doing this. Think of it as an actual person. It's a baby that you birthed, a real person. And the longer you do it, the more you'll learn. Some people, they mature pretty quickly. And, things and success happen for them pretty quickly. But other people, success comes and then it's a challenge. And then it's another wave of successes and then a wave of challenges. And, everybody's journey looks different. So it's so important to be optimistic. Point number 6, organized. Organization. If you are not organized, I don't know what to tell you. But in order to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, an expert, a service provider, and you're solo and you don't have a team, even if you have a team, you as the expert has to be organized. You have to know where things are. You have to know how things work. You have to know how things don't work. You have to really be able to manage everything. And I think it's so important for entrepreneurs to run their business on their own from for a minute from Jump Street because you have to know how everything works in order for you to bring someone else in and expect them to know what to do. Oh, I know exactly what to do. This is how you do it. And you only know exactly what to do because you've done it yourself and you've been doing it for yourself for a very long time. I've had interns. I've had virtual assistants. I've had some help, but I've also done most of what I am currently doing. I've also done most of the time, I've done what I'm currently doing by myself. And obviously with the help of God. But it's just me. So I know how to do it. I know what to do. But in order for me to hire help and understand, you know, how things work, I need to make sure I'm organized. Systems and structure help you manage your business, clients, and creativity with ease. I can't do anything without structure. Like I don't understand how people are just all over the place. Some people work well that way. I don't because I forget things very easily. And if I don't write it down, if it's not on my calendar, if it's not right in front of me, I'm not going to remember. So I write everything down. I have a physical um, planner and agenda. Also have a virtual calendar on my phone that's connected to my email. So anytime someone books a call, anytime someone schedules something, it pops up right on my email and then on my calendar. I check my email often. And I also set boundaries though. When it comes to being organized, I also set boundaries because people will take advantage of your time, especially when you are a solopreneur. You're doing everything on your own. You're checking emails, you're doing social media, you're creating the content, you're working with the client. You're doing everything. So it's so important to set boundaries because again, people will take advantage of your time, and especially when you're not organized, people will do what they think they can do, and that's just how people are. But being organized allows for better client experiences and higher productivity. So when I'm working with my clients, I have my email templates ready to go. I have everything bolded and organized and highlighted. I know when I'm sending what email. I know what client is getting what email. I know where the client is as far as where they are in their client journey. I know all of that. And I know all of that because I've done it multiple times. So I know what's going on. CEO Stylist plan, prep, and prioritize. So I'm a big planner. I don't always plan, but most of the time I do. And I also prep everything. I have to make sure everything is ready. And sometimes I'm very last minute with things. So it just really depends on the situation. But I try my best to plan. I try my best to prioritize what's important. I set deadlines for myself so that I don't just procrastinate and just sit around and, do whatever. I really do my best to make sure that I'm constantly moving towards the end goal with whatever I'm doing. And scheduling and automations has helped me to stay organized and do all of those things. Different tools like Google Docs, Google Excel, different tools like ConvertKit, which is my email marketing platform, ChatGPT, Acuity, Zoom, all of those things have helped me to manage my business and to stay organized. So if you're not using any tools, if you're not having any help from AI right now, I would highly recommend it. But it's important for you to know your business first and know what you need and know where you need what in order to make sure that these tools are going to work for you. So moving on, two more. Number 7, fearless. Fearless is another characteristic of a CEO stylist. You have to be fearless. A lot of the times I'm doing things scared. Yes, I'm scared, but guess what? I'm still doing it. Because fear comes from uncertainty, fear comes from not knowing, fear comes from lack of confidence, fear comes from all of those things. And a lot of those emotions come up as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, especially when you're working alone. And a lot of times you feel like you're by yourself. But again, going back to having faith, going back to having confidence, going back to being persistent, going back to all of the characteristics, you have to continue to do all of those things regardless of if you're scared or not. Fearless doesn't mean you don't have fear. I mean, like I said, I do a lot of things scared. It means you act despite it. So you are doing things and you are moving forward regardless of you knowing what's on the other side. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know everything that's on the other side of your yes. Just say yes and just do it. If it aligns and if it's something that God is telling you to do, and if you feel led to do that thing. So taking bold steps in your styling business will stretch you and strengthen you. Doing this is scary. Like I said earlier, going live and not having anybody join in, I'm literally talking to myself. Am I annoyed? Am I, frustrated? Maybe a little bit. But guess what? I'm still going to fearlessly show up every single week and talk to you all because I know people watch the replay. I also send this out to people to watch. And I know someone is going to see this that is going to need this. So be fearless. Don't play small to stay comfortable. It's important to get comfortable with being uncomfortable as a business owner. You have to be uncomfortable. Most of the time you're uncomfortable, that means you're doing something right. That means you're doing something right when you are uncomfortable because you're doing something that you've never done before. So why would you be comfortable doing something new? Like, I don't, are you extremely comfortable doing something for the first time? Probably not. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing it. So last but not least, number 8, resilient. Resilience is another characteristic of a CEO stylist. Resilience. Setbacks are a part of the journey, but resilience helps you bounce back stronger. So resilience and faith kind of goes hand in hand. I feel like faith is what keeps you going, and just understanding who you are meant to serve and your purpose on this earth deals with faith. But resilience actually is like the motivation. It not even the motivation, but like the act of like continuing to push through and continuing to push forward. CEO stylists learn from rejection, failure, and mistakes. So the ability to push forward even when you make mistakes, even when you go through challenges, even when things don't work out the way that you thought they would work out, you still should have the resilience to keep going. Do y'all think that everything that I've experienced in my journey has been perfect? That everything in my journey has been the way that I thought it was going to be? Do y'all think that? No, that's impossible. It's impossible for anything to work for everything. It's impossible for everything that you think is going to go a certain way. It's impossible for that to happen because how you think things are going to work won't always work in that way. And it's all for a reason. If you're a believer, if you have faith, everything will work out the way that it's supposed to work out. And sometimes the way that it's supposed to work out is completely the opposite of how we see things or how we believe it will work out. And that's where the disconnect is. That's where the frustration lies. Because in your head, you're imagining things to work out a certain way. I'm a visual learner. So I'm visioning, I have a huge imagination. So how I see certain things sometimes, I'm like, oh, it's gonna work out like this. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, and then he is gonna say this, and when he says that, then I'm gonna do that, and it's always happening in my mind, and it is a blessing and a curse. And when I'm going through the thing that I thought that I saw in my mind that I thought would plan out or pan out the way that I thought it would, and it doesn't, it's easy to be frustrated. Like, dang, I thought you were, because we want to be in control so bad. We want to be in control so bad, y'all. Control is like a thing. And I think that's why I love being in the fashion industry and why I love like just dealing with clothes and getting dressed and the art of getting dressed because that's something that I can control. I can control what I put on my body every day. Nobody is telling me what to wear. And throughout my experience, I've learned that that's really the only thing I can control. Aside from how I respond to things, how I think about things, and what I put on, that's the only thing I can control. You can control your mouth, you can control how you respond to things, you can control all of that. You can control, try your best to control your emotions. But other than that, I can't control anything else. I can't control what the weather is. I can't control what the president does. I can't control what other people do. I can't control sometimes I can't even control my current circumstances. Sometimes I think I can, and then that's what gets me messed up. Some circumstances I can't control, but most of them I can't control that. That is over my pay, that is above my pay grade. So it's so important to understand what you can control. And 9 times out of 10, it's really not much. So it doesn't help to get upset over things that you can't control. And that's what resilience is all about. CEO stylists learn from rejection, failure, and mistakes. You have to be willing to grow through what you go through. Like mistakes are inevitable when it comes to being an entrepreneur. When it comes to being a CEO stylist, you're going to make mistakes. Nothing is perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. There's no such, I don't even know why perfect is a word because nothing is perfect. Maybe that's why it's a word to inform people that nothing can be this. No, I'm not perfect. My business isn't perfect. My journey isn't perfect. Um, Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, y'all. So when you understand that, and when you are open, optimistic, another characteristic, when you're optimistic to the journey, when you are fearless and you keep going because you have faith and you have confidence, I'm reiterating all of the characteristics, then you're then able to be resilient. And you have to think about the people that you are meant to serve, the people who you are created to help, because those are the individuals that are on the other side of your resilience and your fearlessness and your organization and your optimist. How do you say it? Optimist. I don't know. I was trying to put it in like a term like fearlessness, optimisticness. I don't know. Maybe that's a word. your faithfulness, your confidence, your persistence, your patience, all the people who you were created to serve on the other side of you really meeting all of those characteristics. So I hope that you were taking notes. If you weren't, you can always rewind this, watch the replay, all of the things. And I hope you learned something new. I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely went 15 minutes over time, but it's all right. I really wanted to make sure I got this out. But I hope this was helpful to you all. I'm excited to answer any questions that you all may have. So don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section. And I'm here to help. So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all next week.